Vengeance, no. Punisher. Here, I hope you're doing well. Today is officially the 20th anniversary of The Punisher. Came out April 16th, 2004, starring Thomas Jane, John Travolta, Rebecca Romaine, Ben Foster, Samantha Mathis, Roy Schneider. I am a huge fan of this movie. I've always been a fan since I saw it in the theater 20 years ago. That was a great month. We had Hellboy at the beginning of that month, and then we got The Punisher in 2004 of April. I've always enjoyed Thomas Jane in the role as Frank Castle, aka The Punisher. I thought he fit the role perfectly because The Punisher is not supposed to be this giant, muscular, Bane type of character. He's a guy with worked undercover, used to be in the military. An assignment goes wrong, someone dies, people come after his family, murder all of them, and then he goes on a revenge spree to take down the people that killed his family. And I think Thomas Jane fits. He's muscular, he has put on the muscle, but he's not jacked to the nines. Then you add the background of being in the military and having all that insight and knowledge and skill. And I thought Thomas Jane pulled it off great. I really believed him. I also like John Travolta in this. Obviously you're not used to seeing John Travolta as a villain. Here he plays Howard Saint. And I thought John Travolta was able to toe that line of being a little bit over the top in moments, but still keeping it fairly grounded. And I think John Travolta plays a good villain. You look at this, you look at The Taking of Pelham 1, 2, 3, you look at Swordfish. John Travolta just is great as a villain. I also like how this movie is very dark. It's rated R. It's very, very, very violent. Whether it's the whole massacre in the beginning of the movie with the entire family, the entire Castle family, wife, son, mother, father, cousins, aunts, uncles, grandparents, they all get murdered. And they show it. It's violent. Then you got other scenes later on in the movie when Ben Foster has all the piercings, and also we have Will Patton in this movie. I forgot about him. And he's taking the piercings out one by one. Or the scene with the Russian. And then the whole finale. There's a lot of action. It's violent. It's gory. And this movie is also very dark, like I said. The subject matter of massacre of entire family lineage. There's possible almost suicide later on in the movie. Frank Castle puts the gun in his mouth and almost shoots himself. He gets really drunk, alcoholic. So it's one of those movies that when people used to say, oh, Deadpool's like the first rated R movie. What else? The action scenes are great. I love the scene with the Russian. I like that line that John Travolta, get everyone in, send in the Russian. And it's Kevin Nash, the guy who would then later on be in the Magic Mike movies, playing Tarzan for Matthew McConaughey. So that whole scene is great. When they have the Italian music playing in the background. Also, I love the music in here. They have a great soundtrack, a little hard-hitting, like the song Step Up. Also, I also love that back in the 2000s, comic book movies would give their main character their own theme song. Spider-Man, the X-Men, Daredevil, the Punisher, and this one has an iconic theme that every time I hear it, I know exactly what movie it's from. I like the music, the action. I like that you got like Rebecca Romaine in here, who was in between the X-Men movies, where she played Mystique. You have Ben Foster in here, who at this time was still fairly unknown. He was even before he showed up in X-Men The Last Stand, and then so on and so forth. I think you got Will Patton in here as like Howard State's assistant, go-to guy. This was after Remember the Titans, so very different role for him. I thought he did a good job in here. I actually, when this movie came out that spring, later on that year, for Christmas in '04, I actually got the Punisher movie poster for Christmas, and I actually hung it in my bedroom, and it was double-sided. And I had that hanging right above my bed all through high school. I've always been a fan of this movie. I also like how it feels like an 80s and slash early 90s action movie, with the action, with the violence, with the one-liners. Like when he kills the guy with the Russian, and he's falling down the stairs, and he gets up and he's all bloody, and he turns his head, he looks down at the Russian, looks back up, looks up at the top of the stairs. I'm fine. He's not. And then he just collapses. Those moments are. I also love when the Mexican drug lord or whatever. They're not even humans, Howard. Howard, they're not even humans. Talking about the cigar. I've always been a fan of this movie. I wish they made a sequel. I love that final shot of him on the bridge. San Francisco Bridge with the black trench coat, the Punisher shirt, and he's just standing there like a badass, having like a voiceover monologue about, this is who I am now, Frank Castle's dead. Now it's just the Punisher, and I'm going to go after everyone from drug cartels to pedophiles to murderers, rapists. And I'm like, okay, I want to see a sequel. And we never got a sequel to this Punisher. They rebooted him in 2008 with Punisher Warzone. And then, of course, Netflix rebooted it with the Punisher with John Barenthal. I've always preferred Thomas Jane as the Punisher. That's just my favorite. So let me know in the comments below, have you seen The Punisher starring Thomas Jane and John Travolta recently? It's the 20th anniversary. Let me know in the comments below. Matt the Man here, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, leave a comment.